Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome back to your online English class of Dubai International Public School and College, Mansehra. This is your teacher Sigda Kainat Fatma. Dear students, today we will discuss a very beautiful poem. The name of the poem is The World is Too Much with Us, and it is written by a wonderful romantic poet, William Wordsworth. Students, this is a very beautiful sonnet with the theme which is relevant to today's time. The theme of being stayed away from materialism and enjoy the beauty and glory of the nature. So before starting the poem, let us look on the life of William Wordsworth. So William Wordsworth is considered a natural poet whose greatness of as a poet is universally recognized. He was born on April 4, 1770 and lived most of his life in the rural West called as Lake District. According to William Wordsworth, he defined poetry as a spontaneous overflow of feelings and emotions. Now, as I told you that this is The World is Too Much with Us is a sonnet. So let's see what is meant by a sonnet. Dear students, a sonnet is a one stanza 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter. So the meaning of iambic pentameter, the sonnet which derive from Italian word sonetto meanings a little sound or song. It's popular classical form that has compelled poets for centuries. So sonnet is 14-line poems. Now let us see the theme of the poem. So the poet lamentates that the modern society people are so busy with the earthly life that they have lost the ability to see and feel the beauty of nature and lost their imagination. Here we see the strife, the old pagan culture of humanism and modern industrialism. So as I told you that it is Italian sonnet and the rhyme scheme of this sonnet is A B B A B B A C D C D C D. Okay, dear students, now before going to start the poem, I'm telling you a brief history of the poem. It is believed that William Wordsworth composed the poem in 1802. He wrote this poem in 1802, but he published this poem in 1807. So 1802 was the time when industrial revolution was on its peak. The materialism was on its peak. In this poem, the poet contrasts the nature with the world of materialism. He shows how people are destroying themselves with consumers and criticize the world of first industrial revolution for being observed materialism. So dear students, let's start the poem. The world is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature, that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a struded boon. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon. The winds that will be howling at all oars and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan suckled in a creed outworn. So might I standing on the pleasant lea, having glimpse that would make me less forlorn. Summary of the poem. So, dear students, angrily the speaker accuses the modern age of having lost its connection to the nature and to everything meaningful. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. He says that even when the sea bears her bosoms to the moon and the winds howl, humanity is still out of the tune and looks on uncaringly at the spectacle of the storm. The speaker wishes that he were a pagan, raised according to different vision of the world, so that standing on this pleasant lea, he might see the images of ancient gods rising from the waves, a sight that would cheer him greatly. He imagined Proteus rising from the sea and Triton blowing his withered horn. Now, students, let's talk about the figure of speech used in this poem. So, the first figure of speech used in this poem is personification. As you know, that personification is to attribute human characteristics to non-human or even inanimate objects. The poet has used personification at several places in this poem, such as sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and the sleeping flowers. All these expressions make the nature possess human-like qualities like yearning of love, sleeping, and soothing. The next personification is allusion. So, allusion is an indirect or direct reference to a person, place, or thing or idea of historical, cultural, political, or literary significance. In this poem contains allusion to Greek mythology. Imagery. The use of imagery makes the readers visualize the writer's feeling, emotions, or ideas. Wordsworth has used images appealing to the sense of hearing, such as winds that will be howling, to the sense of touch, sleeping flower, and to the sense of sight as Proteus rising from the sea. Consonance. It is a repetition of consonant sound in the same line, such as sound of S in have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, and F and T sounds in the for this, for everything, we are out of the tune. The next figure of speech used in the poem is simile. So simile is a device used to compare something, another thing, to let the readers know what it is. There is only one simile used in the line 7 of the poem. And are up gathered now like sleeping flowers. The poet has linked the howling of the wind with the sleeping flowers. Assonance. So assonance is the repetition of vowel sound in the same line, such as O sound in, or hear old Triton below his withered horn. So dear student, it was our today's lecture. I hope that you have understood it. Thank you students. Allah Hafiz.